Hello everybody, how are you doing today? And welcome back to the garden. We just had a storm Amy, I think Amy, whatever they call it, passing by yesterday and the day before. So I thought I'm gonna show you what happened in the garden. Let's go. It's still quite blustery today. I think the wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, but it's nothing like it was yesterday and the day before. It's not that much damage really, but there is some damage. Let me show you. The main thing that broke is the fencing on the old chicken run. It just ripped the whole chicken wire of the fencing posts and broke my tomato plants. But not to worry, they were supposed to be getting harvested anyway. So I'm gonna do that in a second, I'll show you. But let's have a look down the garden, what else is happening. Surprisingly, my sunflower is still standing. So that's all good. Not other major damage in this part of the garden really. All the rhubarbs got flattened completely, but they are on their way out anyway, so it's to be expected. They are not that strong plants anymore. But the main damage is here in the veggie area on my greenhouse. Last time I was trimming the grass around the greenhouse, I damaged one of the panels. And that's the panel that broke completely. That needs to be replaced as soon as possible. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Thanks God I have a spare panel. But I do hate this toughened grass. There's thousands and thousands of tiny pieces that needs to be picked up. When I cracked the panel, I painted it with the oil paint. Thanks God I did that, because it's holding most of the tiny pieces together. But there's still loads to be picked by hand, sadly. So that's one of the jobs for today. Otherwise, there's not that much damage really. The netting for my purple sprouting broccolis got ripped apart. But the sprouting broccoli itself doesn't look that good. The butterflies managed to get in one way or another, laid loads of eggs, and I have a purple sprouting broccoli without any leaves. That's main damage in the garden, only two things really. The greenhouse and the fencing for old chicken run. Not too bad really, compared to other people. But yeah, I think first of all I'm gonna harvest all those tomatoes from the chicken fencing. I think the plants themselves can go to the compost now. I'll pick all the green tomatoes as well. Maybe they're gonna ripen inside. And after that, I'll replace the panel on the greenhouse. So that's the jobs for today. Okay, so let me try to harvest whatever I can. Not sure if I'm gonna leave these plants here. Most likely they're all gonna go on a compost. It was quite a good year for tomatoes really. Didn't get blight at all so far. So I was hoping those beauties gonna be ripening nicely on the plant, but sadly we got a storm. It's a bit of a tangled mess here. Everything is growing through everything else. But let me pick whatever I can and we'll see what we are left with. I'm surprised with the Italian tomatoes. They're doing quite well outdoor. I think better than in a greenhouse. On top of the tomatoes here, I also have the pumpkin growing through all this jungle. So that also added to the weight of the fence in the wind. This tomato is not good. It can go for the chickens. So I think that's all I can pick from this side of the fence. That was quicker than expected and easier. I'm cutting the whole clusters of the cherry tomatoes, hoping that they're gonna ripen indoor. There's quite a few fully green clusters. I'm tempted to leave this plant still growing for another week or two. Just not sure about the weather anymore. The summer is well and truly finished. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm looking at close up. I was thinking of removing all the tomatoes, but then I've noticed there's so many tiny green ones. I want to give them a chance to ripen still. I'm hoping 2-3 weeks gonna be enough for them to ripen. There's no sign of blight or anything still on the plant, but I think I'm gonna leave this plant growing as long as I can. There's way too many green tomatoes still, tiny one. They might have a chance to ripen if I leave it on the plant. Anything with a tiny hint of red I'm gonna pick. They will definitely ripen indoor with no problem. But all the fully green stuff can stay on the plant for a bit longer. Anything like that I'm picking. You can see the tomatoes are already starting to turn. They will ripen indoor. Alright, so that's all I'm gonna take out of that mess. It was an interesting idea to try this year, growing the tomatoes this way on the fencing. It did work in a way, but it's way too messy with everything, too jungly. And the sun is gone and I can see some storm on the horizon. Anyway, let's continue while we have time. So that's all gonna get taken indoor and processed, whatever is red. All the green stuff gonna be left on the windowsill or somewhere room temperature to ripen, hopefully. But now I need to quickly sort out this fencing somehow, patch it up for another 2-3 weeks. In winter I'm planning to remove this whole fencing anyway, so it doesn't have to be strong, just some string probably or cable ties. So let's do that now. Okay, so that looks much better already. I just patched it up very quickly with a string, just tie it back to the post. This whole area is going to be redeveloped in the winter and next year. All this fencing is going anyway, so all this plant matter has to survive another 2-3 weeks. Yeah, so this is sorted for the time being. Fingers crossed it will survive another 2-3 weeks, up to a month maybe. We'll see how the weather gonna work. But that's not bad really for the outdoor tomato harvest. I've been picking some cherry tomatoes from this area for a while already. They are much slower than the one in a greenhouse, obviously, growing outside. But this year being so dry, I haven't noticed a sign of blight on them yet. That's why I'm leaving the plants still to grow. Fingers crossed they're gonna give me some more harvest. So yeah, that's this one fixed, kind of. And now let's sort out the greenhouse. Okay, and now the main damage is the greenhouse. I knew it's gonna happen sooner or later. Last time I was trimming the grass around the greenhouse, I fling a pebble and it cracked the panel, one of the panels. Unfortunately, I didn't get the replacement glass on time, and last night it all shattered. But no worries, I have my glass today, one day too late. Nevertheless, we're gonna replace that panel. Thankfully, Nothing really major got damaged. So the thing is, we need to remove all the glass. I don't know why the safety glass is supposed to be a good thing. It shatters into a million pieces that you have to pick up later on. I would much rather prefer normal glass, breaking a couple of pieces that you can easily pick up, than all this stuff. Remember, wear your gloves for work like that. As I said before, when it first cracked, I painted the whole panel with a, what is it, oil paint, something like that, liquid rubber. Just gave it a coat of that stuff. Thanks God I did. It prevented the glass breaking into million pieces. I only have thousands of them to pick up. But that's the tip for you for the future. That might work quite well. So I just need to pick up all this glass, clean it up a bit. Oh, I'm so happy I used that paint. Okay, so this is mostly cleared. There's still plenty of glass pieces on the ground. Looks like that's me walking barefoot in my own garden. Not gonna happen anytime soon. But yeah, all I need now is the new piece of glass. I have my buttons and I can fix it back up as soon as possible before the next storm comes. Okay, that wasn't that bad really. I didn't film the process. I don't have enough hands to carry the panel like that and film at the same time. But it was easy enough. Just fit the panel in, put the buttons in, and that's it. Plus sore thumbs, but at least it's working now. Let me show you close up. So here we are. I bought the same panel I had before. The Rhino only provides the toughened glass panels, so there was no choice. But at least I have glass in my greenhouse. It's very important for the stormy weather. If you're missing any panels, replace them as soon as possible. But now I have to deal with all this crap. It's not my favorite job, but this all needs to be picked up. I might just use a shovel and scoop the whole surface of the soil. It's going to be probably quicker and easier. Okay, so at least my greenhouse is safe back again. I'm a bit disappointed with that Rhino glass in the first place, the first one that broke. Well, to be honest, it's probably 10 years old, so might be expected really. I don't know what's the lifespan of a toughened glass, but it's not supposed to break just from the pebble like that. But anyway, it's all fixed now. Remember, it's very important to keep your greenhouse tight every time there's a storm. If you can keep it locked down while it's windy, there's much bigger chances that your greenhouse is not going to get damaged. If the wind can get in one way or another somehow, it's much easier for the wind to break the whole structure. So I'm quite happy I managed to fix the greenhouse after all. I didn't film the process of putting the glass in. It's way too fiddly. I don't have enough hands to hold the camera, do the work at the same time. But it's all done. Now I can focus back on my harvesting. I was getting a bit worried with the greenhouse. We have more and more storms coming all the time. So at least now I'm all done and safe, and I can focus on harvesting more. I had to delay my potato digging out harvest because of this greenhouse. Had to sort out the panel, go and pick it up, all this stuff, but it's all done now, so we're back to normal schedule. I'll see you back in the garden very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.